Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I would like, first of all, to thank you for your interest towards Russia and for sending us very interesting questions about Russia. I would like also to seize this opportunity before answering your question to express our deepest condolences to the families of the victims of those who died as the result of the earthquake and tsunami in Sulawesi. Our hearts go out for the families and the loved one, for the families who lost their loved ones in this tragedy. We have selected some of the most interesting questions about Russia. The first one is, what role would Russia like to play in the global world in the sphere of economy, security in the following 30 years? I'm absolutely convinced that in the following 30 years, Russia will play a major role in the sphere of economy in the world, because Russia is a great country with a huge potential, and not only we are rich in natural resources, but also we have a very highly educated population and a high potential in science and technology. If we talk about security, Russia is a permanent member of the Security Council of the United Nations, and there is practically no issue on the global agenda that can be solved without Russia's participation. And I'm sure in the following 30 years this trend will only continue and become stronger. The second question, in what spheres would Russia like to cooperate with Indonesia in the following 5 years? Russia views Indonesia as one of our key partners, not only in Southeast Asia, but in the Asia-Pacific region. That's why our wish is to develop interaction with Indonesia in all spheres that could present interest to both countries. First of all, I'm referring to economy and in investment area. Our leaders have set the target to attain the volume of the trade on the level of $5 billion per year. So we should concentrate on that. But not only economy and trade is important. We are conducting a very active political dialogue. We are cooperating in the various international organizations and fora, first of all, United Nations. And next year, Indonesia will become a non-permanent member of the Security Council. So we will even closer interact with Indonesia in combating terrorism, transnational crime, and all the global challenges that our world is facing. Also, education is a very important area. Tourism. Actually, there are so many spheres and directions that our two countries can cooperate. And as ambassador, it's my job to promote this kind of cooperation in all areas. Third question, is it possible to abstain from using the US dollar in trade between Russia and Indonesia? That is a very interesting question, and of course that should be the target that our two countries would seek to reach. It is not that easy because it needs preparation and to have necessary financial and banking instruments in place. But if we reach this target, it will allow us to conduct our trade without any influence from third parties or countries that are trying to use their currency as a political instrument. So I hope that sometime in the future that can be done. We have this experience with other countries, for instance, with China, and we are looking to do the same to employed the same mechanism with some of our partners in Southeast Asia. Fourth question, what was your first thought of Indonesia after you knew you'd be posted there? Well, I would like to say and answer this question in a little bit different way. Maybe not my first thought, but my first feeling. And I can say I was very happy. I spent more than 20 years working and living in Southeast Asia, and I was very happy to be posted in Indonesia, which is the leading country of this region, a country with beautiful nature, fantastic culture, and deep historical tradition. And when I came to Jakarta, I found out also that the people of Indonesia are very friendly, very warm, and very welcoming. So I'm really happy to be here. The fifth question, so far what was your main challenge during your posting in Indonesia? And what makes the most significant difference between Russia and Indonesia? So far my main challenge is studying the language. I speak Lao and Thai because I worked in this country, and I would love to speak Bahasa Indonesia as well. So I'm taking lessons and struggling with Bahasa Indonesia. I don't want to put emphasis on the difference between Russia and Indonesia. They are quite obvious. Russia is a country with the cold climate. Indonesia is a tropical country. We're very far away from each other geographically. Indonesia is a country with the biggest Muslim population in Russia. We're predominantly Christians, but I would like to highlight the similarities that we have. I find that Russia and Indonesia are very similar in their diversity. Both of our countries are very multicultural and multi-ethnical, with very friendly, warm and hospitable people. That makes us closer. And the last question, does Russia give priorities to strengthen cooperation in the sphere of education with Indonesia? And what are the steps to be taken? Yes, of course, education is a very important sphere of cooperation between our two countries. And we do a lot to develop this area. For instance, Russian government is giving scholarships to students from Indonesia that wish to study in our country, and so far there are around 300 Indonesian students who are studying in the framework of different programs in our country. Of course, for a population of 260 million, it's not enough. But if there is more demand for scholarships in Russia, we can provide more. And also there is exchange between our universities that is going on, and universities in Russia from different regions, not only Moscow and St. Petersburg, are very much interested in having students and having exchanges with Indonesia. And I would like to urge young people from Indonesia to come to study in Russia, because they will not only acquire education of very high standard, but also will sample the beautiful Russian culture and traditions. Thank you.